So this is our second part of our digital footprint discussion. The digital footprint is Mr. Spears' class. What? Who can remind us what a digital footprint is? Right there. Speak loudly, please.
I have just one question.
Okay, let your brain settle down, and then you'll figure it out. Okay, right there.
Digital footprint is the mark you leave behind when you post pictures or leave comments on the internet?
Absolutely. Digital footprint is the marks and the posts that you leave on the internet. Mrs. Hooten's class, are you the only one that can leave a trail of your footprint? Does anybody know?
Chatty.
No.
No. And what? And who? So who else can add to your footprint?
And all your friends or all the people around you?
Absolutely. And the way that we left this off last time was to ask you about your footprint, was to ask you about who are you allowing to follow you in your footprint. Because that's very important. And at your age, we always play the game of how many friends can I get, right? How many friends do you have? Oh, I have 1,000. Well, I have 1,500, right? How many followers do you have? Oh, I have this many. You got to stop playing that game. And we're going to show you why. We're going to show you why. So I'm going to I'm going to fast forward and set up what today's lesson or other part of this lesson is going to be about. Let's fast forward. Oh, and you know what? Let's kind of review our pictures, though. Remember, we saw that quick video of imagery, and we saw the lighthouse. Mr. Spears' class, anybody want to tell us what the lighthouse represented? What did the lighthouse represent? Yeah, searching, the search bar, the Google browsers. Anybody can search. And Mrs. Hooten's class, can anybody remember what the copying and whispering was all about?
Brian, say it nice and loud.
Anyone can get like a copy of your picture, your ID.
Can you hear
anybody,
him?
Yeah, anybody that you that anything that you post, people can get, and then they can then pass it along to their friends. Right? You don't have to. You won't know where all these things are going. And then Mr. Spears' class, what is the jumbotron? What did that represent?
Isn't it broadcasting?
Yeah, you're broadcasting it to who? The world, everybody. Do you have control over who sees it once it's broadcasted? No. And that information becomes permanent. You cannot erase it. Your mom or dad cannot call Google and say, can you remove that comment my student made? No, they're not going to. It's part of the world now. You've added to it. Okay? You can't make a phone call and make it disappear. And that's what we call persistent. Persistent means it's always going to be there. And that's why you have to make good choices on what you post and what you repost and what you comment. You have to start making good choices, and those choices have to start being made right now. And we had to remember that everything that's added to your footprint is permanent. You cannot take it back. You cannot take it back. So this is what we're going to do. So you're going to stay in your groups, and you are going to pretend that you are the executives of a television station. You're the head executives, and you just came out with a new reality show, and you're looking for a host for that reality show. And you searched far and wide. You got lots of applications, and you have narrowed it down to 2 people. And so as a group, individually and then together, you're going to look at their application. But you're also going to look at their profiles on various social media. And you really need to scrutinize. That means really look at the small pieces, the comments others are making about them, the comments they're making on one site versus another site. Because remember, when somebody is the head of a show, they are the ones that people are going to scrutinize. And you don't want your show to be overshadowed by a scandal. So you need to really look at these people and see which one would be the best fit for our television show. So that's what you're going to be doing today. So on your screen, you should receive a link or a download to a PDF, which is a file with a application and profiles for Linda and Jason. And I want you to really take a good look at Linda and Jason. Look at their posts. Look at their comments. Look at what their friends are posting about them. Look at all the comments that are being made. So really take a good look. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes to work, a couple of minutes to work by yourselves to read, and then a few minutes to talk about what you found with one another. Okay, so I'm going to put a timer up on the board right now. Let's see, we'll do 500 seconds. It's too many seconds. 400 seconds. That's better. About 6.5 minutes. So about 2 minutes or 3 minutes to review on your own, and then go ahead and start talking with your group. Okay, so go ahead and look at the profiles. It is.
You know what it is?
KB. WXL. The Nook may not have the capability of showing that. So just look on one of your friends next to you. Remember, really look at their bio, is what they sent you. The very first thing you read is their bio, but then look at their social media. Look at their friendogram or their Instapic or whatever they call those. Okay, the generic terms. So take a look. Look at the posts. Look at their comments. Look at their friends' comments. Start thinking about what's not adding up. Start thinking about what could other people say, hey, wait a minute. This is not right. Start thinking about who you would think is more trustworthy. Think about who do you think is a better person based on what you're reading. And in about 30 seconds, you're going to talk about it with your group of what you've discovered. Talk about some things about these people. Right, go ahead and talk over with your group. Talk about what you found. Talk about some discrepancies you may have seen.
Yeah, his is better. He had one flaw. Someone said that he was awesome, dude. Just kidding. I like his
About one more minute. About one more minute.
And then look what she posted.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. So, Mrs. Hooten's class, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember last time this is where we kind of got knocked off. So what we're going to do now, so you should have had enough time to take a look at their profiles and kind of get a good idea of who these people are. Now, I want you to understand, you've never met them. Or have you? No. You've never met these people. And so the only idea you have about them is their digital footprint. So let's see what their digital footprint has left on you. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take some time, and I would like you to, well, you know what? For the sake of time, Mrs. Hooten's class, I would like your class to take on Linda. Okay, so I want you to write whether you trust her or don't trust her, whether she's likable or not likable. So you, Hooten's class, if you would please answer the Linda side of this chart. And Mr. Spears' class, you're going to answer the Jason side of this chart. Now remember, if you say he's not trustworthy, tell us why. Okay, and vice versa. So I want to give you about 4 minutes. You can either write with your finger, or if you want to write more, you can write with the text box. That is an option. But I'm going to give you about 4 minutes. 4 minutes to finish this one up.
I mean, you gotta click each individual box, right?
Okay, 5 minutes, because I hit 300. These minutes are
So I don't see that.
Now, remember, when your typing is going on there. Yeah, that's what Hey, you guys, if you click on the capital T, a text box comes up, and then you just put your cursor inside of that, and then start letting it type. Yeah. And you have to click and type.
That's not like
Really?
it's like I can't see the top.
It doesn't say
Oh, wait.
Oh my god, it can't be different. I know I don't
You guys, it will let you type. It just keeps on saying enter text here until you start typing. Well, did you put your cursor inside?
Are we supposed to type?
Well, I know that.
Where your box
Stop chatting.
You're welcome. Okay, you guys have to determine whether Linda works well with others or not.
Linda's really
Yep,
disorganized.
you write what you think.
You can change it. Like it's called words.
Yeah.
Wait, did Linda? Did Linda?
Yeah.
Oh.
About 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds. And Mrs. Hooten's class, I'd like you to have somebody who is pro Lisa and not pro Lisa or anti Lisa. And then Mr. Spears' class, I want to hear for somebody who is pro Jason and then not pro Jason. So about 1 more minute. 1 more minute to finish up your thoughts. Please make sure when you're done, you hit the blue send button in the bottom right-hand corner.
Your answer? Where's it? A lot of good answers. Brody versus Blake.
About 20 seconds left, and then whatever you have, please hit send. About 20 seconds left. Whatever you have, please hit send. All right, so please, everybody hit send, whether you're done or not, so that you get credit for answering this question. Whatever you have, please hit send. Mrs. Hooten's class, can you still hear us?
Yeah.
All right, so is there someone in your class who is pro Lisa?
Yes, we do have somebody pro. Would you like to hear from her?
Just give me her name. We'll bring up her answers on the screen, and then we'll also hear from her.
Ariana.
Ariana. There we go. So you guys can see this on your screen. This is Ariana. So she's pro Lisa. So she says that Linda might work well with others because she said that she works with high school students. Okay, and then said that she's honest because I think she's as honest as a regular human because the only thing that seemed weird for her was posting two of the same pictures. Right? So Ariana thinks that she's pretty trustworthy and working well with others. Is there anything else, Ariana, that you'd like to say to back up your statements?
No.
No. Okay. What about someone in your class that is anti-Ariana? Anti, saying, oh, sorry, not anti-Ariana. Nobody's anti-Ariana. Anti-Lisa. Sorry, anti-Lisa. Oh, Linda. Sorry. I'm just testing you.
Daily.
Bailey?
Daily, D as in dad.
Oh, Daily. Did I pass it? Right here?
Next one.
Right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So Daly says that she'll work well with others, so that's pro, but anti is that Linda is dishonest because her social media site, her profile picture was different and the food was from a cafe. So I'm assuming you're saying the picture on her profile site was completely different than the person she portrayed in her application. And then on her in her thing, it said that she made the food, whereas the post said she had bought the food. Okay, so that's very good. Very good. So now let's hear from Mr. Spears' class about Jason. So in Mr. Spears' class, who's oh, okay. Pro Jason? Okay, what's your name? Brody at the very top. So Brody is pro Jason right here. And Brody says that Jason is going to work well with others because he's in a band and people came to him for help when they needed help to be the singer, making him see that he likes to be, people like to be with him. And then he's dishonest. He is dishonest. He cheated and took drugs while in a wrestling. So you're still pro, even though he cheated and he's dishonest.
Him taking the steroids to get to be stronger and be better at wrestling doesn't really do anything with him being on a talk show. It's just like he would cheat if he had the chance.
Okay, so Brody says that just because he took drugs to get better at wrestling doesn't mean he wouldn't be a good host. It just shows that he'd cheat if he had to. Okay. So now over here, and what's your name? Oh, what's your name? Blake. So Blake is anti Jason. Right here. What's that? It's not you? Oh, it's okay. So you can explain. So Blake says that Jason would not work well with others because he left his band and never says that he got along with them. And then same thing with why he would not work well with others. Okay? Now, let's move on to the next one. So watch. Do you think the show's host should be Linda or Jason? And I want you to list your main 3 reasons why that person should be the host. So now it's time for you to decide. Are you team Linda or are you team Jason? And you must list 3 reasons why you decided to choose this person. And we'll give you 2 minutes to do this one.
Okay, one or the other to help.
About 1 minute left. 1 minute left to make your decision and say why. Okay, about 5 seconds left, and whatever you have, please hit send. 3, 2, 1. All right, so please, everybody, even if you're not done, so that you get credit for this answer, please hit send. And I'm going to pick one person from Spears' class. What was your name? Christian. So I'm going to take a look at Christian's. You just told me to pick yours. Okay, we'll do another one. What's your name? We'll do Logan's. It confuses me when I ask something, you raise your hand and then say no. P? Right here. Okay, so we'll share it out. So both classes are seeing this. So Logan chooses Linda because I don't see any problem with lying about cooking. It doesn't tie into the reality show. What if the reality show is about cooking? I'm just kidding. I know, but also Jason used steroids in his trends. Okay, and he hacked his Twitter to where random people commented on him. The proof was in the dates, so the dates didn't match up. Jason also does not get along from how he hates his band. He might also use steroids for his voice to be better. I've heard of people doing that to get over like laryngitis and stuff. So okay, Hooten's class. What about you? Is anybody in there want me to share theirs out?
Dawson would like his.
Josh?
Dawson.
Oh, Dawson with the D. So Dawson. Right here. Here's Dawson. Dawson says that Linda should get the job because she only had one lie in her profile, and Jason lied way more, saying that he likes to inspire people with his voice. But in one of the comments, he said he quit singing. And because in college he took steroids during a wrestling match, so that means he's not afraid. He's not. So I get it. I get it. So I'm going to see if anybody chose Jason. Okay, so here's one from Anthony. Jason, my reason is that Linda's too self-confident. Jason is not as self-confident, but he did cheat in wrestling. Okay, confidence is nothing bad. Okay, especially if you're going to be in the media, you have to be a confident person. Let's see another Linda. Okay, from from Leah. Leo?
Yes.
Okay. Linda, because she did not take drugs and she used to teach high school and she's described as funny, and that's what people are looking for. Good. Okay. So you see that people your age can take things differently. Some of you read Linda's and thought she was a liar because of her cooking comment or her pictures. Some of you read Jason's and said he was a liar because, he said he sang in a band and another post said he didn't. So there's a lot of discrepancies, but some of you are for him and some of you are against him. Some of you are for Linda, some of you are against Linda. Understand, none of you have met these people. None of you have met Linda. None of you have met Jason. And you're all coming up with an idea of who they are as a person based on their digital footprint. So you are coming up with ideas on who they are without ever actually knowing them. So we're going to focus on Lisa right now. Linda, sorry, just testing you. What did you think about the comment under Lisa's Instapic, right, about the food? She said that she made this food, and then the comment underneath said, you didn't make that, you bought that, basically is what it said. Did that change your opinion of her? Before that post, did you think that she was perfect? And then you read this post like, wait a minute, if she'll lie about food, what else could she lie about? Right? So if that made you change, please type this in. Type this in. If it didn't make you change the answers, tell me why that it did not. Okay, so a few minutes so that you can give your best answer for this. And we're looking for your best answer. Did that comment change the way you thought of her? Were you going towards hiring her, and then because of that comment, you're now double guessing on whether you should? About 1 more minute, and then whatever you have, please hit submit. Ooh, Patrick, tell us how you really feel. About 30 more seconds, and then whatever you have, please hit submit. About 15 more seconds, and whatever you have, please hit submit. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, whatever you have, please hit submit so you get credit for this post. Whatever you have, please hit submit so you get credit for this post. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to choose. Okay, I'm going to choose Haley. Okay, is Haley in here or Hooten's class? In here. Okay, so Haley said the comment on Linda's Instapic made me not trust her. This is because she lied about her food. And the way that she lies about her food made me think that she'd lie about other things too. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. And I like that you backed up your claim with a very reasonable response. That's absolutely a great response. Okay. Trish, are you in this class or another one? Trish, okay. It says the comment under Linda changed the opinion of the way she described herself, and she was a cook, but after seeing that, someone else said that she bought it and she didn't make it herself, and she figured that's what she lied about. What else could she be lying about? Absolutely. Right? If she'll lie about something small, what makes her preventing her from lying about something big? Hiram, are you in this class? Okay, we're too many in this class. Let's go down farther. Let's go to Hooten's class. Diego. Other class, perfect. So Diego, we're gonna read yours. You did change your opinion on Linda because she said that she cooked it, but a viewer said that she bought it. So when she said it was made by her, I thought that she's a complete fake. Now, I like these comments. I like these comments because they are real. It's a true reaction to what you see every day on the internet. You may be viewing somebody's profile, somebody you've never met, and they say something, and then in the thread of comments that other people make, it makes you change your mind about what that person made a comment about. But I want you to think about it in a different way. Okay, think about this for a second. You spent 5 minutes looking over Linda's profile. You spent 5 minutes reading about who she was and that she worked with high school people and she did all these different things. And the thing that made you change your mind about her the most was not something she did. It's what somebody else posted about her. That other post from some other person, you have no idea who they are, made you completely change your mind about who this person was. Now think about it for a second. Linda could be the nicest person in the world, and a lot of you saw that she was pretty nice. And she may have been working her entire life to become this star. She may have been working her entire life for this opportunity and this moment for this job. But because somebody else posted something about her that you don't know is true or not, you completely changed your mind and are now thinking about not hiring her. This happens every day. Every day somebody can post whatever they want about you. We have no idea if Linda knows who that person is. We have no idea if that person even knows who she is. That could just be some random person going, oh, I'm going to make this joke. I'm going to say, oh, she didn't make that. It could be a random friend that they have an inside joke that says, oh, man, you're a great cook. So every time you post something, I'm going to say you bought it somewhere. Oh, word, it'd be funny. We don't know. We're not in on that joke if that's the case. We don't know if that person used to be her best friend and is now her enemy. We don't know any of those things. All we know is that we know Linda and that this one little tiny post changed our minds about her. If you allow people in your social media circle, if you click friend on anybody that requests being a friend, if you click follow, accept on anybody that requests to follow you, you are going to fall victim to this trap. You have to start locking down your social media. You have to start taking responsibility for who you allow to follow. You have that right. You have the right to lock down your social media, and you have to stop playing the game of who has the most friends. By accepting a friend, that's basically allowing them into your house. That's allowing them into your stuff. By allowing somebody to be your friend, you allow them in to your settings, right? Saying you can bypass all the settings I just made. You have a free pass into my social media. Just because maybe they were on the same, they like the same sports team that you did, and you're like, oh, they like, the Falcons. I'm going to select, they could be my friend. You just allowed them into your house. That's like going to Walmart and be like, wow, you like the color blue? Here's a key to my house. Now, all of you are like, that's ridiculous. Why would I do that? If you hit friend accept to somebody you don't know, you did that. It's the same thing. Allowing them into your social media account is just like giving them a key to your house and saying, do what you want. Go inside and steal my food. Go inside and steal my stuff. Go inside and do things and say that I did it. By accepting a friend, you have no idea who they are. You're allowing them into your house. You're giving them a key for disruption. You're better than that. You are way better than that. You have to stop accepting people as a friend if you don't know them. You have to stop accepting people as a friend just because you may have a similar 1 or 2 interests. If you don't know them, kick them off. If you've never met them, kick them off. If you don't trust them, kick them off. If their profile is disgusting and not good, kick them off. You have that right, because what they do reflects what you are. What they comment reflects you. You have the right to cultivate your footprint for the better. You have the right to say, you're not going to be my friend because I don't know you. They have to earn your trust for you to click that button. When you hit accept, that is a button that says, I trust you. I trust you with my profile. I trust you with my future. And I trust that you will help me make the best footprint I possibly can. When you click that button, that is a contract between you and that friend. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And too many of us think it is. The next time you hit friend accept, ask yourself, would I give them a key to my house? If the answer is no, don't hit accept. And I'm serious about it. Too many people are getting burned. Too many people are getting in trouble. Too many people are going down the wrong path. Too many people are getting scammed because they hit accept without figuring out who these people are. Stop hitting accept if you don't know them. Stop giving away the keys to your house. I saw your faces and I saw your snickering when I said, oh, you gave that guy at Walmart a key to your house. Like, oh, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. It's the same thing. And if you make it be the same thing, it'll make you think twice about hitting accept. It'll make you want to run home and change the locks on your door. Meaning you go to your social media and you purge that friend list on everybody you don't know, don't trust, or never seen in person. And I implore you, you do the same thing to your friends. Go tell them, you got to do this. Because remember, if your friends are let into your account and they like something about you and it goes on their feed, now all the people that they allow follow them can grab it. You need to make sure your friends know about this too. It's very important that students your age understand that by accepting a friend, it's like giving them the key to your house. Linda has found this out the hard way, and you proved the point. We have no idea who that commenter is. We've never met them, but we made it change our complete perception of who Linda is, and it made us double guess on whether we should hire her or not. What are other people leaving on your comments that are making people think you are a different person when you're not? You have to start thinking in this way. It's very important. But the beautiful thing about it is you're young enough to be able to stop it early. There's a lot of people that have let this go on for so long that it's bad, and they can't get hired anywhere. You have the opportunity to take control of it early. And that's just Linda. Because here comes Jason. What is your impression of Jason? He lied about singing in a band. He lied about his relationship status. And he lied about where he was born. Some of you may not have caught these things. Jason lied about singing in a band. He lied about his relationship status. On one site, he said he was single. Another site said he was married. And he lied about where he was born. Okay, 3 minutes. What is your impression of Jason now that these three things are viewed in this light?
Yeah. On my second interview here, Steve made a comment about my family. I said, thinking about like your experience. How you've been on your Facebook. I was like, huh? It's nothing there that's bad. Exactly. Exactly what you're saying. Exactly. I would what you're saying.
Every school district.
Yeah. Now. Taylor, this is footprint. Brody Arlene. Oh, okay.
About 2 more minutes to tell us about Jason. Now that you know that he lied about singing in a band, lied about his relationship status, and lied about where he was born. What are you thinking about him now? Makes Linda look pretty nice now, huh? So all you guys that are in Team Linda are like, I told you. I told you Linda was the one. Go, Linda, go. Oh, but oh, wait. Team Jason's going to come skyrocketing back. About 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Your thoughts on Jason now that you know these things. About 30 more seconds, and whatever you have, hit submit. I can see some of your brains working faster than your fingers. You're like, dang it, wish I could type faster.
Dragons.
Or I wish I could just use my thumbs because I can text like crazy.
Jason, life.
Some of you, texting is your cardio. Okay, 15 seconds. Okay, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whatever you have, please hit submit so you get credit for answering this question. Okay, Hiram, tell us how you really feel. And I'll tell you, I love doing this lesson for 7th grade, not only because it's important, okay, but I love doing it because you're completely honest. I like it. I really do, right? So I'm going to go down to, we'll start with Hooten's class just because, you know, we got to give Hooten's class some love. So I'm going to go with Jeremy. Jeremy, you're in Hooten's class. So we're going to share Jeremy. I now think Jason is someone who would lie to get away with what they want. Jason also wouldn't be the best person on a reality show. We can't trust what he says. Okay, very good. Oh, I forgot to hit the share button. See it? All right, good. Close it. Okay, another person. How about Jessica? Jessica, I think that was a good thing because you never know who is following you and reading your information. The bad thing is that you should never lie about anyone. Jason seems a little rude for lying. Okay? Let's see. About Tabitha. Tabitha? Oh, wow. She must be popular in that class. Tabitha. So after him lying about singing in the band, his relationship status, and where he was born made me think he could lie about experiences about being on the host of the show. Okay? Very good. Now let's go up to Spears' class. Trish, have we gotten Trish already? Yeah. Oh, he was like, yeah. Let's see. Teo. Okay. My impression. Ooh, that's a powerful word. Impression. I like it. My impression of Jason was that he is definitely not. Definitely. Look at that. Hey, you are like you are a beast with words. You got a vocab battle master in you right there. He's definitely not trustworthy, and he probably lied about many other things too. He obviously lied way too much, and I wouldn't trust anyone who lies that much. Absolutely. But understand this real quick. We talked about Lisa and how we misconstrued. That means took things in a different light. Now let's go with Jason for a second. Okay? Number 1. Every guy lies about singing in a band. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? Especially when I sing in a band. It's called a rock band, and it's on the Xbox, and I sing every night, right? So, you know, we can kind of let that one go. But think about this next one. So let's go to the last one first. Where he was born. Now, First off, why would anybody lie about where they were born? They don't have control over that. It's not like they were like, Mom, not yet. I don't want to be born here. Right? You can't, I mean, I don't know why he would, but maybe he didn't lie. Right? There's many different places in the world that have the same name. Let me give you an example from my perspective. I was born in New York. Okay? Now, whenever anybody hears New York, they think of New York City. That's not, New York City is very tiny, little island called Manhattan. The majority of New York State is kind of like the Central Valley. It's very farm-oriented. And there's a small town in New York called Rome, New York. And my parents were in the Air Force, and Rome, New York is where the Air Force Base was located. So when people ask where I was born, I say Rome. Well, when you hear me say that I was born in Rome, where do you assume I was born? Italy, right? Across, not in the United States. And then, so in one place I may say I was born in Rome, and in another place I may say I was born in New York. Did I lie on either of those? No. But when people see it, they go, wait a minute. Here you say you were born in Rome, and here you say you were born in New York. What's up? Nothing's up. I just didn't put the New York after Rome in one, and I didn't put the Rome before New York in the other. But I'm not lying. So we have no idea if that's the case with Jason. Once again, we're taking what he's saying, and we're interpreting it the way that we want to interpret it. Okay, I have a question right here in Spears class.
You could have just moved.
Okay, but where you were born, you can't like be born halfway in one place and halfway in another.
Yeah, but
Unless you're born on a helicopter.
it sends the message. It sends the message.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, so there's a lot of different things, right? But to right away say he's a liar, you know, we don't know that for a fact. So, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a liar. So we don't know that for a fact. And here's the next one. Oh, wait, one more question. Yes.
He could have like not updated his relationship status on one.
Oh, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now the next one. And you're like, me and you are like this wavelength right here. Trust me. Okay. Here's the next one. What about his relationship status? So let me tell you a story. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far right here, okay, far, far away, meaning 2006, okay, about almost 10 years ago now, there was a brand new town that opened up on the internet, and this town was known as MySpace, and everybody saw this town as a place they can all move to and get to know each other. So people went to this town from far reaches all over the world. They went to this town called MySpace. They set up a space. They posted their profiles. They posted their pictures. They posted everything. And as the years passed, this place got so overcrowded and just so weird that people are like, man, this place is just not for me anymore. And one day, they looked across the hill, and this shiny light was coming up, and it said a brand new town was being built. This town was called Facebook. And people looked at the town and saw that this town was clean. It didn't allow you to mess it up like MySpace did. Everything was very clean and proper and more business-like, more orderly. And they're like, wow, I want to live there. And Facebook's like, well, come on over. You're more than welcome to join us. And so without doing anything, they all got up and left. They didn't take anything with them. They all got up and they moved to the new town of Facebook. And now the old town of MySpace is like a ghost town. It's still there. It's still there like a graveyard. And you can go back and see all these people's profiles that they haven't visited in 10 years. If you visited my MySpace from 10 years ago, I was just graduating college. I was not married. I was still working as a waiter at a restaurant. And my Facebook now, I'm a teacher. I am married. Okay? Completely different person. But if you didn't know that, if all you did is search my name and found my MySpace and compared it to my Facebook, you would call me a liar. You would say, wait, here he says he's a teacher, but he's just a waiter. Here he says he's married, but there he says he's single. It's not because I'm a liar. It's because I was dumb. I was dumb because I left one town without shutting it down. I left one social media site without closing it out. And too many of us are doing this. Too many of us are opening up a social media account and we may forget our password and be like, it's easier to just open up another one because I can't remember that password. Well, that's a capsule now. Facebook doesn't delete profiles because you don't go on it. It's a time capsule now. And if somebody searches your name and goes to it, all that old you is still being represented as you. All those old statuses are being represented as you. Do we know for a fact that that's not what happened to Jason? Jason could be a really great guy. He's just dumb, right? He's dumb because he didn't shut down his old account, okay? He's dumb because he's not, saying really where he was born. He just may not be very bright. You know what I mean? So we have to understand that we take things out of context in a digital footprint. You have to make sure that what you lay down as you cannot be misconstrued. You have to be sure what you lay down is who you really are. And what you leave behind is burned away, not open, not searchable, taken down, deleted, accounts closed. You can't be leaving a trail of old accounts as little ghost towns on your digital footprint. You can't do that. You guys understand? Okay, question right there.
I have 3 supporting statements for that Jason could be a good host. For the band one, the tweet that he got that the person asked him to be a band could have been he could have got that tweet before he sent the application. So he was in the band. So he was actually in the band when he sent the application. And for his relationship status, I would, like you said earlier, random people could just send a friend request and stuff like that. And I wouldn't want random people to know about my wife and my children, etc. And for where he was born, again, he could have just moved.
Yep. So absolutely. Right? Everything that you just said is absolutely true. Everything can be misconstrued. So when we leave things, leave tracks, leave digital footprints, we have to make sure they cannot be misconstrued. We have to make sure that they are as blunt as possible. Okay? So next thing. Let's reflect on what we've learned. Okay, these past 2 days. Number 1, you have complete control over your footprint. And what I mean by that is you have to make sure that you can decide who is allowed to add to that footprint, because you are not the only person adding tracks. You have the right to say no to somebody requesting you as a friend. And in fact, it's your responsibility to say no until they prove themselves worthy of you selecting that accept button. By selecting the button, you are giving somebody a key to your house. So you have to ask yourself every time you click accept, would I be willing to give that person a key to my house? Do I trust them that much? You have to make sure what you're laying down is the truth. That cannot be misconstrued by anybody. You have to make sure that you are not abusing your posts, right? And let me tell you what I mean. A lot of people love to say, I can say what I want. The United States is a free country, freedom of speech. That's absolutely true. But remember, the things you say can come back to haunt you. You can say something to a friend and then you guys can forget about it a week later. But if you post it online, it's never forgotten because it's always searchable. For myself, I always hold back on making a post. I always hold back on leaving a comment when I think an argument is about to happen. When my post, I think, will create an argument or add to an argument, I do not post. I don't want to be involved in that stuff. I don't want to be involved in that dirtying of my footprint. And you see it happening all the time. You look in your Facebook feed, you see people arguing all the time. And yes, it is a free country, and we do have free speech. But we have to be able to stop and think, what will this comment do to me, not only now, but in the future? We have to start double guessing what we're posting, because we are now living in the most searchable time in the history of the world. Every hour, there are more photos uploaded to the internet than every photo ever taken from 1980 to the beginning of time. Every hour, there's that much many photos being taken. And a lot of them are of food, right? A lot of them are just of random selfies that people like taking in front of the mirror. A lot of them are just random things that you just take because you can. Remember, everything you take is searchable. Every photo you take in front of a mirror is searchable. Every post you make on any site is searchable. Every step you take in this world is recorded. And every single time you talk to your phone, it's recorded. If you've ever talked to Siri, you've been recorded. If you've ever talked to Google, you've been recorded. If you've ever talked to Cortana or whatever Microsoft's one is, Cortana, you've been recorded. If you've ever talked online through Microsoft or PlayStation, you've been recorded. If you don't believe me, I'm going to show you something that's going to really scare you. But I want to make sure you understand this, because it's super important that you understand what's happening in this world right now. Because you are living at a time when everything you do is completely documented, whether you like it or not. And this is going to be shocking to a lot of you. And I know this because I only discovered it 2 weeks ago. And I'm pretty well versed in all these things. And I just found this out 2 weeks ago. Okay, so let me show you. This is history.google.com. So I'm going to show you my personal Google account, my personal one, not my school one, my personal one. If you have an Apple one, if you talk to Siri, I don't know where you find their stuff. If you have a Cortana, I have no idea where you find their stuff. But if you use Google or an Android, you go to history.google.com and you'll find this. Every time I've ever talked to my phone, it records it. So listen to this. I asked when my FedEx package was going to arrive, and it recorded it. Not very good. Everything I've ever said to my phone is recorded. Everything I've ever asked Google to search for me is recorded. Same with Siri, same with Cortana. Every time you've talked into your phone, complete phone conversations are recorded. But that's not all. In this, you can also find location history. Every single place you've ever been in your life is documented with your phone. So your phone has a tracker in it. It's called GPS. And every place you go, the GPS connects and it tells Google where you're at. So I go to Hawaii, there I am. I travel all the way up and down California giving presentations to parents, teachers, and students. Every city I've ever been to do that is recorded. I've done one in Phoenix, Arizona. It was recorded. I've been to Texas, Austin, Dallas, Houston. I've been recorded. I took a trip to Cozumel, Mexico over the summer to see the Mayan ruins. Recorded. Every place you've ever been is documented. You are the most followed and tracked humans in the history of the world, whether you like it or not. And a lot of people say, well, that has to be illegal. It's not, because every time you get a phone, you have this big, long legal document that they ask you to read, and you don't. You click accept so you can use your phone. And in there, it states clearly all of this. Every single word of it is there. Trust me, they have lawyers that make sure of it, but you don't read it. Nobody does. It's not illegal. You said yes. But that's not it. I'm not doing this to scare you. I'm doing this to prepare you. It also records every single YouTube video you have ever watched. Ever watched. Some of you are like, can my parents find this? Yes, they can. And even if you've never watched it, but you've searched it, it's all right there. Yes, that's going to be a good movie. Okay, so pay attention. Why am I showing you my personal one? Why? Because I am proud of it. I make sure that my digital self is clean. I make sure that the person I am online is well respected, just as the person I am in person is well respected. The two of you, meaning the digital you and the real you, are merged into one person. But the digital you is the one that the majority of the world sees. The digital you is the one that eclipses, that means goes higher and is more seen than the real you. And if you think you're in the private, and if you think things you do online are not being viewed, if you think the things that you are doing online will be hidden, it is not. If you wouldn't do it in person, you shouldn't do it online. You cannot see these things as separates. They are extensions of the same thing. They are both you. I am proud of my digital footprint because one day when I was younger, not as young as you, but one day, 7 years ago, when I was 35, I'm 34 right now, so 7 years ago, when I was younger, 27, thank you. Somebody said, hey, have you heard of this thing called the digital footprint? And are you making sure you're taking care of it? And when he told me the things that I'm telling you, I was like, yeah, right. But it's the absolute truth. And I have made it my goal and my job to make it the best digital footprint I possibly can. Is it difficult? It can be, right? Because you always have to second guess what you're doing. You always have to second guess what you're searching. You always have to second guess what you're posting is going to be misconstrued by somebody else. Is it hard? It sure is. But life is hard, and it's even harder with a dirty foot. But when you have a clean footprint, I will tell you the world opens up so many doors, you have to ask those doors not to open up anymore. I can't tell you how many job offers I have gotten just because of who I am online. I cannot tell you how many people have contacted me and said, you should be doing much more than being a teacher. Would you like to come work for us here or work for us there? And I've never met these people, but they have met me online. But I'll tell you what, there's no place I'd rather be than in these classes showing you what the future holds and how you have the capability of molding that future any way that you want. So as much as you think a footprint is going to hurt you, I will tell you a good footprint is going to push you so far up in this world that you're going to be surprised at how many job offers you get that you've never even asked for. They're going to come after you because of the way you've cultivated them. So if you think your footprint is ready to go, start making it the best footprint you can. If you think your footprint is like weeds and growing and you're like, I don't know if I control it, start chopping those weeds down. Start cutting all those vines off and start showing us the roses that you have underneath. And you don't let those weeds pop up anymore. You have the opportunity to have a great digital footprint. And I'm saying this because it's very important in this world that you're living in. Very important. You are an important person. You are very important and you have rights. And those rights are also extended to the digital world. You have the right to decide who your friends are. You have the right to delete them. You have the right to tell your friends, don't post that. You have the right to tell your friends, stop making those jokes on my posts. You have that right. You don't have to be nice about it. You can be very blunt. And if you have friends that have never heard about this, you need to tell them. Because the people they have as their friends are going to start hurting you. You need to tell them. If your parents have never heard about this, you need to tell them. Because the things they post about you affect you. If they've never heard about this before, you need to spread the word. You need to have a serious conversation. I know some of you have never had a serious conversation ever, unless who's better, Taylor Swift or Taylor Swift's rival? I don't know. Okay? You really need to have a serious conversation with your friends and say, have you heard about this thing called the digital footprint? It's very serious, and you're not helping me any. You need to have a conversation. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to prepare you. And a lot of people in this world think ignorance is bliss. That means not knowing about this stuff makes them happier. But I'll tell you, living in ignorance is not a good way to live. It's like if you've seen The Matrix, right? Are you going to take the red pill or are you going to take the blue pill? Do you want to keep living thinking the world is just perfectly fine? Or do you want to know that you're being controlled? Right? Do you want to know the ins and outs of how the world really works? You've now been given that pill to be kind of awakened and to help yourselves. The reason we decided to do this, the reason Mr. Spear called me over, the reason Mrs. Hooten called me over is because we care so much about you that we want you to be prepared. And I know a lot of your parents tell you, well, when you turn 14, we'll allow you to have a cell phone. Or when you turn 14, we'll allow you to have a social media account. And I'm telling you right now, whatever your parents say goes. But I'm telling you right now, age has nothing to do with it. It's, are you prepared to deal with it, is what your parents have to start asking you. Because before they give you keys to a car, they're going to make sure you take a test, go with a driving instructor, and they're going to make you drive with them for hours and hours and hours and hours until they let you drive a car and give you keys so they know you're prepared. Why don't they do that to you with the phone? Why don't they do that to you with social media? Why do they just give you the keys and say, go for it? You need to be prepared. You need to be ready. And in case of an accident, you need to know what you're going to do. And that's why we do this to you, because we care so much about you that we know these next few years are going to be very difficult, not only in the real world, but the digital world. And we want you to be well prepared to know how to deal with it and not be ignorant to the facts that are behind that wall. You guys understand why we did this? And I know it's a downer, but it's Friday, so we get to go after this. But I know it's a downer. But I seriously believe wholeheartedly that you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to know the truth at an earlier age than this. But you got it now. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell people about this so that you won't be as affected as everybody else. Okay? So Mrs. Hooten's class, thank you so much for this. Mr. Spears' class, thank you so much for this. I'm gonna end the session. I'm gonna ask if there's any questions in Spears' class, and then Hooten's class, I'll come over and see you. Is that gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will see you in about 10 minutes. All right, bye.
Guys, what I want you to